Alright, so I placed the rest of my furniture. So I put a little table in there. I added this wall just to separate the kitchen from the living room a bit. It's a pretty small little place, but I think it's good enough for what we're doing. But I did see an anomaly here. So it looks like for some reason the television is sitting inside of the TV stand. Now I'm not 100% certain of this, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at this in 3D so I can see what's actually going on with this. So up here at the top, under default 3D model, you've got a tool called camera. I'm going to grab camera. I'm going to click over by the door and I'm going to pull it back so I'm looking into my living room. And you'll see when we do that, that you'll get a bit of a render of what that living room looks like. And it's pretty clear that TV is inside that TV cabinet. So I'm going to click on the, not that, I'm going to click on the television. There we go. Now, over here under the properties, I've got some things that I can change. So I've got offset, and I can change numbers and offsets. Say I put 150 millimeters in there and hit enter. Let's see what happens. The TV should be moving within, but it might be a bit too much. A bit too much for Revit right now. Go apply and we'll see. So 1500, a bit much. So let's try them, I don't know, let's try 800 and apply. That's looking a fair bit better. You can move the camera inside. So I'm still definitely floating a little bit there. So let's try 750. Am I still floating? Hard to tell if I'm still floating. I think just a little bit. We'll try 730. And there we go. So now my TV is sitting on top of that. And you can see in the 3D view that we are on the top. So just a cool little feature so you can make sure stuff is looking perfectly. Now, this room is looking awfully cluttered. So I think we're going to delete my coffee table because it's a bit big in there. But you can have a little render of what that room's going to look like. Remember, this is just a cabin, so we're not too concerned about how tight the spaces are. But we'll go back to ground floor. You can see there's my living room again without the table. So what you do in one view, it gets changed within the other views. So just a little interesting thing about changing the properties there. Now, we just talked about 3D view a little bit. So we've done everything in 2 dimensions. So we built a really cool floor plan, but now we need to look at this in 3D. So we just used our camera view, but I'm just going to the standard 3D view. And you can see we've got a very tall house without any ceiling or anything on it. So the next step I think we need to do is look at doing a roof for this house. So I'm going to go back to my project browser, and I've got floor plan, ground floor, and level 1. And you can see level 1 is this level up here. Pretty much this is a single story house, so level 1 is going to be where I want my roof to be. So I'm going to go to floor plan level 1 and double click on that. Now you can see everything on the ground floor is grayed out. You can't see my doors or windows anymore, and that's because we've cut across to make this. Now I want to make a little roof for my cabin. So up here I've got a roof tool. I'm going to click on that. And you've got a couple features here. So overhang. So this is how much the roof is going to overhang past the edge of the building. We've got pick walls selected, so I can pick the walls that I want the roof to be on. Or you can just draw the roof in. I'm going to set my overhang at 500 millimeters. So what's that going to do? You can see when I mouse over it, now I get that dotted line. That dotted line is symbolizing the edges of my roof. So, well, I want a roof there. So it's saying 30 degrees. So the roof from this point is going to be 30 degrees going up to the center. So if I click on this wall, again, 30 degrees. So I've got 2 angles. Now, I don't want all 4 slopes of my roof to be angled. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to click Define Slope. And that's going to turn off that slope function. Now I can click on this one, and you can see there's no slope marker. And if I click on that one, again, no slope marker, because it wasn't defined. Still have the the overhang, but no defined slope. So once I'm happy with that, I can click the check mark, and I've got all those walls on the inside that you can see are highlighted, and it's telling me, oh, these walls are going to conflict with that roof you just put on. So do you want them to attach to the roof, or do you want them to go straight through the roof? Well, I think for this case, I just want them to attach. So I click on attach. Now my roof is exceeding past the top of level 1, and that's why it looks like it's cut off. But if I bump back to my 3D view, now you can see that I've got a roof on my little cabin. Now, same way we did that roof, let's jump back to the ground floor. We also have no floor. So if I take this and I look at the bottom, our house has no floor. You can see right in, everything is just sitting on dirt. So back to the ground level floor plan, ground floor, and we're going to put a floor in. So I click on floor, and it gives me the same thing. So I've got offset, I've got the pick walls. Now in this case, I'm just going to offset it a little bit because we're going to build on a pad. So let's say 100. And you can see how it's, when I do this, it's not going right to the edge of the wall. That's because our wall is 125. So let's just bump this up. Let's say 150. That looks like right at the edge. Yeah. I mean, why did I say the wall's? The wall's a lot bigger than 125. But anyway, let's just say 200 overhang. Now I can pick those walls going around. And all this is doing is giving us just a little bit of extra cement around the outside of our floor. And it just gives us something to build on. So I'm happy with that. I can click the check mark. And you can see now that there's a floor all the way around in my house. If I go back to 3D, you can see that there's now a floor there. So very cool. Got a little floor. So I'm going to stop that there, and we'll move on to the next step.